Okay, everyone, if we can find our seats, silence our cell phones, we're about to get started.
Yeah, I gotta watch what I say. You can hear everything we say. You know that?
Alrighty. Good evening, everyone. We are on the record. Today is Wednesday, the 21st day of September in the year 2022. This is a regular meeting of the Jersey City Municipal Council. We had a scheduled 6 p.m. start. The clock on my cell phone is showing 6:04 p.m. May I have a roll call for the commencement of this meeting? Councilperson Ridley is not here. Councilperson Prinzeri.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Yeah.
Councilperson Soleil is not here yet. Councilperson Solomon.
Here.
Councilperson Gilmore is right there. Councilperson DeGise is not here. Councilperson Rivera
Where's mine?
Here.
and Council President Waterman.
Here. Here come Yusef.
Oh, okay. We have Councilperson Youssef present at 6:04, so we'll keep him there. So we have 8 council members in attendance at 6:04 p.m. Can we kindly rise for a moment of silence, please?
Be out.
John Frawley.
Sorry. Just 1 second, guys. Before we do the moment of silence, just 1 second. Okay. Now we're going to have the moment of silence. Sorry about that.
John Frawley.
Phoebe Santilano, wife, dedicated wife of former Councilman Michael Santilano. Okay. Thank you very much. On behalf of Council President Waterman, in accordance with the New Jersey Public Laws of 1975, Chapter 231, the Open Public Meetings Act, also known as the Sunshine Law, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the posting on the bulletin board of the first floor of City Hall, the annual notice, which is the schedule of meetings and caucuses of the Municipal Council for the calendar year 2022, and filed in the office of the City Clerk on Thursday, October 28th, 2021. In addition, at its time of its preparation, the agenda of this meeting was similarly disseminated on Friday, September 16th, 2022 at 2 p.m. to the Municipal Council, Mayor, Business Administrator, Corporation Council, and the local newspapers, and posted on the city's website, so I can certify as to our total compliance with the Sunshine Law. Please be advised that we are now live streaming all City Council caucuses and meetings through Microsoft Teams. The links are located on the city's website and also on the agenda. Okay. On to our first order of business, our first reading ordinances. If you would allow me to read them into the record. Item.
Have council.
I'm sorry, your mic is not.
Councilwoman
DeGise is here. Okay. Thank you. She's using her stealth powers to get in here. I didn't hear her. All right, so we're going to record Councilperson DeGise present at 6:07 p.m. So we now have, it was 8 members, not 7. It was 7 before. 8 members present at 6:07 p.m. Councilperson Ridley, is she going to be out for the meeting? For the entire meeting. Okay, thank you. Alrighty, so on to our first reading ordinances. Item 3.1, City Ordinance 22-085 is an ordinance of the Municipal Council amending the Journal Square 2060 redevelopment plan, addition of corner bonus D provision within Zone 3 Commercial Center. And item 3.2, City Ordinance 22-086, an ordinance of the Municipal Council of the City of Jersey City vacating back Factory Street at the corner of Mercer Loop and Wayne Street. Okay, council members, I'm going to be taking a vote on items 3.1 through 3.2. Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Bajano.
John, I had asked you the other night to pull that 3.2. It wasn't pulled, was it? I had it explained to me, and it's okay now. I had asked, remember the other night I asked you to have it pulled?
Yeah, Councilman, so I circulated a memo today that we're going to introduce it, and it does spur an opportunity that members within 200-foot radius of that area will be notified of the public hearing, and that they should provide feedback to the council prior to the second reading.
All right, I spoke to them, and it seems okay.
Okay, well, they'll still have an ample opportunity to speak in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so your vote, Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera. And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Items 3.1 through 3.2 are approved 8-0 with Councilperson Ridley absent. Okay, on to our second reading ordinances. Our first second reading ordinance is item 4.1, City Ordinance 22-080, an ordinance of the Municipal Council amending the Journal Square 2060 redevelopment plan signage standards. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record.
Okay.
Motion.
No. What do you want, Rich?
Council President, after the public hearing.
Okay.
Second.
So the motion was made by Councilperson Rivera to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-808, and it was seconded by Councilperson Solomon. On the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-080, Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0 with Councilperson Ridley absent. So, John, you would like to say something?
Yeah, Sean, the administration's working with Councilman Borgiano on this, and after the close of the public hearing, we'd like to defer it to the next council meeting.
Right.
So what I would suggest is that we table the ordinance after the close of the public hearing. So then it'll remain on the tabled agenda and we can make a motion to remove it. Okay?
Yep.
All righty. So with that being
Motion.
said, council members, may I have someone make a motion?
Motion to table.
Motion to table
Second.
and second by Councilperson Bajano. Let's let me read the motion into the record. You guys are fast. So the motion is to table City Ordinance 22-080 after the close of the public hearing. The motion was made by Councilperson Saleh, seconded by Councilperson Bajano. On the motion, Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0 to table City Ordinance 22-080 after the close of the public hearing with Councilperson Ridley absent. On to our next second reading ordinance, item 4.2, City Ordinance 22-081 is an ordinance supplementing Chapter 332, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 8, Permit Parking, amending Section 332-66, on-street resident only permit parking zones to extend Zone 11 on various streets. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record. And I see, Laverne. Give me 1 second, Laverne.
Okay.
Hey, Laverne.
What areas of the city we talking about doesn't specificate what areas that we want to do this at?
So this is an expansion of Zone 11, which is currently part of the St. Peter Zone. So it originally was from Montgomery to Duncan. It is now going from Montgomery to Kensington between Bergen and West Side Avenue.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Motion.
Second.
Hold on. This is still a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record. Now, the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-081
Motion.
Second.
was made by Councilperson Rivera. I'm going to give the second to Councilperson Prinzary because she said it correctly at the right time. Punishing you again. No. Don't jump too soon. On the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-081, Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Soleil.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
That was a strong aye. Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0 with Councilperson Ridley absent to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-081. For final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 22-081, Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Soleil.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
City Ordinance 22-081 is adopted 8-0 with Councilperson Ridley absent. On to our next second reading ordinance, item 4.3, City Ordinance 22-082 is an ordinance supplementing Chapter 332, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 9, Parking for the Disabled of the Jersey City Code, designating a reserved parking space at various locations throughout the city. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record.
What is this referring to? Because I have disabled parking. I want to know, does it affect my parking in front of my house?
These are new spots, right?
Right, these are new spots, Laverne. People
Okay, thank you
apply.
very much. I appreciate that.
Okay, hold on one second. This is still a public hearing on City Ordinance 22-082. Any member of the public still wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record.
Motion.
Second.
So the motion was made by Councilperson Rivera to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-082, and the second was made by Councilperson Prinzary. On the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-082, Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Soleil.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0 with Councilperson Ridley absent to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-082. Final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 22-082, Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Soleil.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
City Ordinance 22-082 is adopted 8-0 with Councilperson Ridley absent. On to our last second reading ordinance, item 4.4, City Ordinance 22-083, an ordinance authorizing the execution of a lease of the Apple Tree House to the Museum of Jersey City History for a term of 5 years. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record.
Motion.
Second.
So the motion was made to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-083 by Councilperson Rivera, and then I heard a second by Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
On the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-083, Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
One of the best ordinances we've passed in a long time. I vote aye.
This is just to close the public hearing, though. Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore. I'm becoming a little bit of a comedian today. Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-083 is approved 8-0 with Councilperson Ridley absent. For final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 22-083, Councilperson Prinzary. Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye, and I'll say it again. It's one of the best ordinances in a long time.
Duly noted twice. Councilperson Saleh.
I want to recognize Martin Pierce. He's a big advocate for the Apple Tree House, and I'm proud to vote aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
City Ordinance 22-083 is adopted 8-0 with Councilperson Ridley absent. Okay, council members, before we move on to the public speakers, we do have another public hearing, and it's a public hearing on the 2022-2023 Mcginley Square Special Improvement District Assessment Roll and Budget. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record.
Motion.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilperson Rivera to close the public hearing on to close the public hearing on the 2022-2023 Mcginley Square Special Improvement District Assessment Roll and Budget, and the second was made by Councilperson Baggiano. On a motion to close the public hearing on the 2022-2023 Mcginley Square Special Improvement District Assessment Roll and Budget, Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise. You stepped away?
Yeah, she stepped away.
Okay. Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0 with council members Ridley and DeGise absent to close the public hearing on the 2022-2023 Mcginley Square Special Improvement District Assessment Roll and Budget. Okay, council members, now we're going to be moving on to our public speaking portion of the meeting. Our first speaker, 5.1, Laverne Webb, Washington.
Good evening again, council people. I'm very disturbed. This day I went to see my doctor on MLK, Dr. Hyatt, and Armstrong Avenue. And he was very upset about a fight went on outside of his office there, and he's been having problems. He used to have the two offices, one on Bergen and Storms. He had to close that one up. And now he's thinking about closing that one up, and he's been there over 10 years, and we need him. He's a very good doctor. He's a family doctor, and it was very disturbing. He was very upset today. And he says, Laverne, you have cops all down the other end of the area. There's none by him, over there by Cherry's Lounge, and in that area. And he's a good doctor, and he has children. He has a dentist in here. He has a psychiatrist, and he got a drugstore in there. So he's very concerned, and it's a good location for the people in the community. And my other thing, I'm in here about housing, affordable housing. People are coming to me with Section 8, and they have to be relocated, and there's nowhere for them to go. The rent has went up, and Section 8 hasn't went up. And there's a lot of people. There's some people in the Webb building on Oak Street. There's a lady live across the street. She's been trying to find a place. She lost her son, then her husband, so she has to go to one bedroom. Thank God for Mr. Walker. He's been trying to help her and help her to hold on to a voucher. There's another lady, there's a gentleman, Arthur Lee, I mentioned before, that is trying to get in the Pacific Senior Building. He's got to go to a shelter now. And it's very, very sad. and we fighting against affordable housing. Jersey City is the largest city around here now. Land-wise, no. Population, we larger than North New Jersey. We've been there a long time. We going up, they might be wider, but we have to do something with the housing here. And a lot of people have losing their property because they haven't been keeping it up on the kind of COVID. Council, we need to regroup and get back out there. I appreciate the time. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Thank you, Laverne.
Laverne.
Okay, next speaker, 5.2, Triggs Silverson. 5.2, not here. Katie Brennan.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Normally, when I'm speaking to one of you, it's about affordable housing, so I want to echo the previous speaker's sentiments, but that's not why I'm here today. So thank you, honorable council members. My name is Katie Brennan, and I'm here to speak to the resolution in support of the Speak Out Act now in front of Congress. No one should ever be silenced from telling their story by a mandatory NDA. Long before my own assault story became public, I asked for advice. When I went to Julie Mcginley, a former senior advisor to the Murphy campaign, for help, I didn't know what she had seen and endured. She wasn't legally allowed to tell me. Her NDA prevented her from telling me that I was not alone. It prevented her from telling me that she had warned the governor about the toxic environment for female workers on his campaign. In fact, the NDA she signed upon employment was so onerous that she could not even confide in me that it existed at all. After my story became public, she was warned not to disclose anything or receive legal threats. NDAs hurt survivors, and they hurt those who want to help survivors. When I spoke out publicly, the state of New Jersey, where I worked at the time, sent me a notice that my complaint was under investigation. And it included a stringent NDA warning me that I could face termination for disclosing anything more to anyone about the circumstances of my assault or the handling of my subsequent complaint. Today, I am proud to announce that the Speak Out Act has passed both the House and the Senate Judiciary Committees. This bipartisan legislation bans the use of workplace non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, that prevent survivors and witnesses of sexual harassment and assault from speaking about their experiences. This bill was inspired by Julie and I's experience. Building upon the Ending Forced Arbitration of Sexual Assault and Sexual Harassment Act, which was signed into law by President Biden earlier just this year, the Speak Out Act allows survivors of sexual harassment and assault to finally share their stories with friends and family. 1 in 3 employees in the US has an NDA with their employer that would prevent them from doing so. It lets them warn colleagues about abusers in their midst. It's an important step in holding workplace predators accountable. Thank you for your support. Thank you for hearing survivors, believing survivors. Thank you for holding your friends, family, colleagues, and yourselves accountable to do the right thing, even when hearing it or speaking it is hard. Thank you to Councilperson Solomon for your support in leading this. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Our next speaker, 5.4, Alexander Baumhall. Alexander? No? Next, 5.5, Nick Zorowski. Nick? Nope. 5.6, Kushan Patel. Next, 5.7, Rafael Corona.
You tell these people they signed up to speak.
I have no say.
Go on, Sean.
5.8, Gary Murphy.
Hi, good evening. Gary Murphy, 270 Marin Boulevard in Jersey City. For years, my neighbors and I have enjoyed the convenience of several food trucks on our block of Columbus Drive. While the litter and late night noise are at times annoying, this has always been offset by the convenience of having food options right on our block and the sense of neighborhood vitality that these businesses create. But recently we learned that you approved a new plan to increase the number of food trucks on the south side of Columbus Drive from 4 to 12. 12 food trucks on a single block? Tripling the number of trucks is likely to triple the litter, the noise, and the sidewalk congestion along the perimeter of our homes. When considering this change, you did no outreach to garner community input, and instead, after you had approved the change, your Office of Innovation, which I didn't realize we had in Jersey City, sent an online survey that basically said, would you like tacos or gyros or arepas? To me, that survey was a slap in the face to those of us whose homes are directly adjacent to what is going to amount to a linear food truck court. Efforts to persuade city officials to consider an alternative plan have only heightened my frustration. For example, when I suggested a different nearby location for several of the new trucks, I was told, well, that will upset the people on that block. And when I pointed out that our neighborhood right here is already rich in options for formal and informal dining, there are other parts of Jersey City with many fewer restaurants. But the answer I got was, well, the food trucks don't want to go there. The ordinance, Chapter 175, Article 2, includes many safeguards for the communities where trucks are allowed to operate. For example, the vendors are expected to provide trash and recycling receptacles, and they're expected to collect all trash and debris within 25 feet before leaving their site. Trust me, that doesn't happen. The ordinance also states that on Columbus Drive, the trucks may operate until 11 p.m., which, by the way, is the only block in the city where they operate that late. Everywhere else in the city, it's 8 p.m. And trust me, night after night, you can be there at midnight and still see, or later, and still see trucks operating. We request that you reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker, Rosita McGovern. Not here. Jean Daly is not here. 5.11, Martin Pierce.
Martin.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here today on behalf of the Museum of Jersey City History, and in particular on behalf of its board, to thank Mayor Fulop, Council President Waterman, the entire council, and most particularly Councilman Bajano and Office of Cultural Affairs Director Goodman, all their effort and work to bring us to where we are this evening. Finally, the establishment of the Museum of Jersey City History and the historic landmark Apple Tree House. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you.
Martin, you did a good job.
Next, 5.12, Hatham Elgaway. Okay. Martin Pierce was listed twice. I didn't see that. Apologize. Next, 5.14, Laura Lithgow. Laura, not here. Fernando is not here. 5.15. 5.16, Ona Jackson Moore, not here. 5.17, James P. Moore. Not here, okay. 5.18, this is a tough one. Bhagarath Tana, thank you for that pronunciation. Not here. Next, 5.19, Rohan Vakharaka. Oh. 5.20, Sheila Geisler. Not here. Philip Carrington, I don't see him either. And 5.22, Martha Martinez. She is here.
He's here.
Good evening, council people.
Good evening.
Thanks for having me this evening.
Good.
I am also addressing the issue regarding the food trucks, as I live in the area and I'm a shareholder of Metropolis. And I have a number of concerns in addition to what Mr. Murphy mentioned. I feel that, you know, the perimeter surrounding the area does pose health risks among other safety issues. I think it would be a Board of Health violation to have that many trucks in a small residential space for extended periods. Something that may be transparent to others would be that the value of our homes will decline as a result of the litter and other elements such as loitering that will give the area an inferior appearance. I think that unequivocally over time, when you have these types of situations where there's dense areas and types of activities as food trucks in a small space, crime will eventually rise as a result. And, you know, it's just not a good thing for the people who are there. And I've been here for 46 years, and I can tell you that I've seen the quality of life get better over the 4 decades that I've lived here, and it would be a shame for this to change because of something of this nature. In addition to the restaurants and all these long-time establishments that are going to suffer, and prices will continue to rise as a result of the food trucks taking over in this residential area, and I quote residential. And needless to say, it will be an eyesore in the middle of what's supposed to be a thriving vicinity. So, you know, my question is, you know, these things happen, and I believe, you know, anything can happen. An accident can happen, someone falling, they'll end up suing the, you know, the building, and who will be accountable for that? And if there's some kind of a crime, a lawsuit, that sort of thing, and cleanup, I don't think Metropolis should be responsible for this, quite simply. On the north side, by the way, the space there is twice the size of the street on the south side, which is where the food trucks are supposed to be at. So, you know, I'm just imploring to council to please reconsider this, because there's a lot of issues at hand, a lot of issues at hand that are transparent to us. Because if these vendors are being accepted by the county, are these vendors being vetted?
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
John, just to give clarity, even though there's 12 food trucks in the ordinance, they're not all lined up at one given time, not in that area. Don't they change them in and out?
So, yeah, I can just speak.
Go ahead.
So the ordinance was drafted that leads up to 12.
Up
the way
to
it's
12.
Up to 12. They have not been assigned.
Okay,
That. And it was recommended by traffic and engineering that no other uses be put in there for a safety perspective. And just to stay on the record, the concerns are valid. Obviously, there are additional issues around street safety and small businesses that are really important. But I think people have a right to have their questions answered. So I'm going to set up a meeting, or we're in the process of setting up a meeting on site so we can walk through the site. And I do think there's a way, I'm not sure you can get every person happy, but I think there is a way to address a number of the issues raised while still representing, when you guys heard before the council in June and July, the long-standing business owners who had been harmed by the process.
so they'll reach out to you, okay?
Thank you
Doing the
very
job.
much.
Sorry, I can just, one thing on that. If you didn't receive an email this morning from someone on my team, just let me know, and then we'll add you to the list scheduling the meeting.
Sure, and you know, I did want to mention something, if I may.
No, just leave your email and he'll contact.
Okay.
Okay,
all right,
don't worry.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our public speakers. On to our petitions and Communications, items 6.1 through 6.16. Any questions or comments?
No. Once we pass your name, that's it. Okay? But what you can do too is just contact your council person. Are you aware who your council person is? Okay, you can contact them and they'll definitely help you. All right? Because we passed the speakers portion already. Thank you. Yes. No. Get her information, Jade, and we'll see who her council person is and we'll make sure they answer her. Okay?
Thanks, Council President. Any questions or comments on Office of Communications 7.1 through 7.8? Hearing none. Any questions or comments on Report of Directors 8.1? On to our claims and addendums number 1 and number 2. Again, council members, I'm going to be taking a vote on claims and addendums number 1 and number 2. Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Claims and addendums number 1 and number 2 are approved 8-0 with Councilperson Ridley absent. On to our resolutions. Hey, council members are going to be taking a vote on items 10.1 through 10.12. Again, that's items 10.1 through 10.12. Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye for all.
Councilperson Baggiano.
No on 10.9, aye on the rest.
No on 10.9 and aye on all the rest, correct?
Right.
Thank you. Councilperson Saleh.
I want to congratulate Carmen Bais on her 41 years of service to Jersey City, and I want to thank her for all that she's done. And I also want to speak regarding the Speak Out Act. Thank you, Katie, for coming and advocating for this, and thank you, Councilman Solomon, for putting this resolution forward. You know, this is important because NDAs actually empower the monsters that are, you know, sexual abusers. And, you know, with the NDA, it really doesn't address the behavior that's happening behind the scenes, whether it's in government or in the corporate world or any workplace. So this is going to leave them nowhere to hide. And I thank you for bringing this forward and Congress for passing it. Aye for all.
Thank you. Councilperson Solomon.
Aye for all. And then again, Katie, thank you for coming and speaking. And then just more broadly, thank you for pushing for, you know, real structural change that is going to make a difference in literally tens of thousands of people's lives, potentially more than that. I say when, I'm going to speak it into existence, when this act is signed into law at the federal level. And obviously you had emailed, you know, letting us know that you were pushing for it. And, you know, I said, we're not in DC, but small thing we can do here is bring attention to it in Jersey City and have Jersey City's voice clearly and, forcefully stand in favor of the Speak Out Act. I'm thankful to all my colleagues for voting yes and putting us on the record for that. And aye for all the rest.
Thank you. Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye for all.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye for all, and in reference of 10.9, I hope that this does encourage Congress to act on this matter and champion people who have been silenced for so long.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye for all.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye for all.
Okay, I can just recap. Items 10.1 through 10.8 are approved 8-0 with Councilperson Ridley absent. Item 10.9 is approved 7-1 with Councilperson Baggiano voting no and Councilperson Ridley absent. Items 10.10 through 10.12 are approved 8-0 with Councilperson Ridley absent. Okay, on to our next set of resolutions, items 10.13 through 10.22. Again, that's items 10.13 through 10.22. Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
I'm going to say for 1022, it's my hope that every vehicle has a GPS on it that belongs to the city of Jersey City, that it's not allowed to leave the city unless for an authorized use. And with that, I vote aye for all.
Thank you. Councilperson Solomon.
Aye for all.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Items 10.13 through 10.22 are approved 8-0 with Councilperson Ridley absent. On to our next set of resolutions, items 10.23 through 10.33. Again, that's items 10.23 through 10.33. Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye for all.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye for all.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera. And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Resolutions 10.23 through 10.33 are approved 8-0. Councilperson Ridley absent. And on to the balance of our resolutions, items 10.34 through 10.49. So again, that's items 10.34 through 10.49. Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye for all.
Councilperson Baggiano.
No on 10.44, no on 10.49.
No on 1044
1049.
and no on 1049 and aye on all the rest?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Councilperson Saleh.
I will say thank you to Ron Mondello for his services to the city. That's for 1044. For 1049, I want to congratulate Atham. He's here today, and I support you. You're exactly the kind of person that should stand to benefit from the legalization of cannabis. You know, you're arrested when you're younger, and that stifled your opportunity, and you know, you're a young Arab Muslim, and you know, I'm happy and honored to vote aye for this and aye for all of them. Thank you.
Councilperson Solomon.
I have to abstain at 1049, given my employment at St. Peter's University, and vote aye for all the rest.
I'm sorry, I missed the beginning of your statement, Councilperson
I
Solomon.
have to abstain on 1049.
You're abstaining on 1049.
Correct, and
Thank
aye
you,
on
sir.
all the rest.
Thank you. Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Vote aye on all. On 1037, I echo the same sentiments that I hope that this helps people that have felt silenced. And on 1034, I encourage the parties involved to connect with the school districts as Community Gardens and Arrow Farms connects with New Jersey state standards on environmental science. This can offer some work-based learning opportunities for our youth.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Okay, if you would just allow me to recap. Items 10.34 through 10.43 are approved 8-0 with Councilperson Ridley absent. Item 10.44 is approved 7-1 with Councilperson Baggiano voting no and Councilperson Ridley absent. Items 10.45 through 10.48 are approved 8-0 with Councilperson Ridley absent. Item 10.49 is approved 6-1-1 with Councilperson Baggiano voting no and Councilperson Solomon abstaining. So again, that's item 10.49 is approved 6-1-1. All righty.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn by Councilperson Rivera.
Second.
Okay. And the motion to adjourn was made at 6:47 PM by Councilperson Rivera. And this one I'm going to give to Councilperson Saleh. He was just a second louder and quicker. On the motion to adjourn at 6:47 PM, Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano. Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon. Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman. Motion carries 8-0 to adjourn at 6:47 PM. Thank you so much, everyone, and everyone who is here in the audience. Thank you so much. Remember, teamwork makes the dream work. Have a great night. Stay safe.
Hey, thank you so much.